Good morning, everybody. This is Cheryl, also known as Desert Horses 5, also known as Quadine on Facebook, and I want to talk about journaling and paper this morning. If you're going to make journals, you're going to need paper, and you're going to need a lot of it, as I found out. You can go to Walmart and buy copy paper, white copy paper. It's not that expensive. I think it's 32 pound. I don't have any at the moment. I'm completely out. But I do have some 80 pound. It's a little thicker, and I find that when I coffee dye or tea dye my papers, this works a little better than the regular. Now that ream was 8.5 by 11, but then I also have some 11 by 17, and I have it in two different weights. I have just the regular, which is a 32 pound, and then I have one it's white cardstock, and it's a lot heavier, and sometimes you need that extra strength if you're doing a larger book and you need larger paper, so I do have two reams of that. You can also find, once in a while, you can find scrapbook papers that are the larger size too. This I got, I think, a Tuesday morning, and it is the larger 11 by 17. Now these are some 8.5 by 11 sheets that I found up at Hobby Lobby. I really like the botanical one. They have Christmas, and then they have plain. And this is cardstock, and I like to use it on the inside cover for my journals. I do like to coffee dye my plain white paper, and these are some that I did recently. Some of these are tea, and I left them out overnight to dry. And they're full of little petals, which here in the desert, the papers usually dry quickly. I have some other ones I wanted to show you, just some things you can do with your white papers. This one I sprayed over a leaf. It has a pretty effect. This one I did some of the shimmer mists. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. It has a nice effect. It's just something different. This one I put out to dry, and I put it over one of the bubble wrap envelopes that I had sprayed some of those mists on. So it got a nice effect. This one I took cardboard and I just dipped it in coffee, and then I left it out to dry, and then I glued on a napkin when I was done. So that's something different. And of course, who can go wrong with sheet music? This one's fairly large for a larger book. Here are some white papers that I sewed on a little bit of fabric. Here, this one has some fabric and a stamp. This one has a nice stamp. This one I put out in the sun, and I put one of the Tim Holtz stencils on top of it, and then I sprayed it with just coffee and water, a little spray. And here's more music. More music. This is a cookbook page. Maps. Anytime you can get a book of maps. I love maps. I love looking at them. And they have a really nice texture, so those are always good. This is another stencil. And again, I left it out in the sun and let it dry. This one was another stencil. One day I got really ambitious and I went to Staples and I had copies made of some of my papers. This is the cardboard one that I just dipped it in, I think it was coffee. And then I just laid it on the paper. So it has a nice effect. This one I drew the lines on with a ruler, and it's two-sided. So when you fold it, you'll actually have 4 writing pages. This is one that my husband found online, and so I printed that out. I like that one. not two-sided. I don't remember how much the copies were at Staples, but my husband has a laser printer, and he discourages me from using it. A while back, I found some 2017 calendars on sale on Amazon, so I bought some. This was a herb garden. Don't overlook calendars. They have beautiful, beautiful pictures. So these are things you can add to your journals. And look at the bright colors. I just love them. Look at this February one. Oh my, yum, yum, yum. I just love it. So this shows you what's on the back. On the back it shows you what's in the calendar. These are 12 by 12. You don't have to get them this big. In fact, our library has calendars, just regular size, free in their book sale selection. Watch for calendars from the previous year. Oh, look at that. When they go on sale. Some of these are just gorgeous.